Ryan. That was so funny. Welcome back to Alcohol Content. What is going on? We got a different format. You know, it's been a little while since we've had a guest. But before we get into all that, let's introduce the old crew. We got Ryan.
That's me. World Traveler Ryan.
Yeah. It looks like you're part of the New World Order there with your globalist t-shirt going on.
Yeah.
All right.
I got paid to say that.
It's more than
a t-shirt. Look at, there's a collar on it.
Wow,
that's an upgrade.
He hasn't gotten around to cutting off the sleeves yet.
This is actually the color of each of these countries. This is the exact replica.
That's a tablecloth, and you're not fooling anyone.
You know, it does look like tablecloth. Already with the zingers over here. We got Rick. And we have Alex. He's our special guest. He is the brewmeister, Alex. He's the whiskey king. He's the king of all things. Let me ask you a question here, Alex.
King of all things.
Yeah. How's it feel to have your lifelong dream of being on Alcohol Content finally fulfilled?
You know, it's really surreal. It's one of those things that I never actually thought would actually happen. So I'm unprepared to deal with these feelings that I'm having right now today. So
because you've been a fan for 4 years now?
I would say at least.
Yeah.
Since the beginning.
Exactly.
And, it was great that Make-A-Wish reached out to us on your behalf.
Right.
Exactly. And you could be on here today.
Yeah, really. Shout out to Make-A-Wish. They're really coming through for me. So instead of deal with the feelings, I'm gonna get drunk instead.
All right. Perfect. Well,
as we all do.
Yeah. Speaking of getting drunk, Rick, what are we drinking here?
We have some Calumet 16. So it's some Kentucky bourbon. It's 106 proof. It costs $150.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's
that hits you right in the wallet.
We've had it for a while, and we keep going back to it to see if it changes over time or what have you. So really the quick sort of short basics of it is it's 16 years, which it's hard to find bourbon that's, aged that long. So that's probably, that's why the price point's up there. It is from Kentucky Spirits, Western Spirits Beverage Company, and it's sourced, and it's undisclosed source. So the company's in Kentucky, and it's undisclosed, although the mash bill and everything points to that it's from Barton, 1792 distillate. That's unofficial. And it's a 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. So there you go. What are you feeling on the nose? What are you smelling on the nose? Something's got to be happening with the nose.
I think it's worth mentioning that I think we've tried to record an episode on this bottle twice previously.
Yeah.
And neither made the cut.
No,
So
we've been sent threatening letters by the distillery multiple times due to our pre-screening that we give to the distilleries. So this one we're going to be super honest about it. Give us our real opinions about how much we love it.
Mostly letters from Barton.
What's that?
Mostly letters from Barton.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. From Barton.
Unofficially.
Exactly. Unofficially.
But so
It's
exactly
like newspaper clippings cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question. What's the deal with us reviewing all these expensive whiskeys lately?
We're snobs.
Oh. Well, when you put it that way, that makes a lot of sense.
Short answer.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you one of the reasons I picked this up is because I read how quite a few people thought, had very, very good things to say about the Calumet 16. And so it's went, okay, it's pricey. I mean, that's all relative to whoever you are and what your budget is or whatever. But it's 16 year. And so let's give it a go. I mean, I was sort of urged into it by reading a lot of different positive reviews on it.
Yeah, Rick gives into peer pressure very easily.
Yeah. It is worth mentioning that there are a number of batches of this, and they dumped 19 barrels at once. And so it's possible that the reviews I was reading were of a different 19 barrels or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, first off, it's a little astringent on the nose.
Yeah, quite a bit of heat on the nose. Yeah,
I'm having a hard time kind of getting through it. It's stingy. It's acidic on the nose.
Okay. It is 106 proof. I'm not trying to diminish what you're saying. It's 106 proof.
Yeah, but we've had higher proof.
No, I just want to be clear.
It's wood, heat, and a little bit of cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little sweetness of something, sure. Yeah, that cherry.
I'm getting a little brown sugar with that too. Sort of fairly typical bourbon notes. And a little must. A little like
Elon Musk?
I was just gonna say that. You son of a.
No,
Do it.
Musty, like oak or something, like oak that's in a barn and got wet or something like that.
Totally.
So rotting wood.
Well,
Here, here.
There is a dusty cellar.
yeah, dusty cellar. Yeah, that's a good call.
Aspect
Alex.
to this. Yeah,
I guess that makes a lot of sense. Like, you live in a dusty cellar, don't you?
I do actually. Yes. Yep. I moved from dusty cellar to dusty cellar businesses around town until they find me, which I'm pretty good hider. So takes them a bet.
Yeah. Been trying to do that Harry Potter thing for quite some time.
Right.
Still waiting on that letter from
Just
Hogwarts.
ramming shopping carts into train station pillars. Yeah.
Never quite worked out.
Shit. Someday I'll get it.
So this on the taste, the taste is much better than the nose. But it's kind of what's the age on this again?
16?
16 years. Yeah.
It's just kind of underwhelming right away. I'm like it has some sweetness, but that astringency actually hangs around in the back of my throat.
That's the finish.
Yeah, the
that is
finish
the
is
finish.
just kind of hot acid.
I get way less heat for sure on the mouth, on the flavor.
Palate, yeah.
Yep. There is I'm not going to say slickness, but something close to that on the mouthfeel at the
Like
end.
an oiliness?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Agreed.
does like texturally hang out in your mouth afterwards.
It's just crazy how, I mean, obviously it's 16 years in barrels, but the wood is not balanced by more sweetness or more complexity. The wood is a hard note and it's a through line from beginning to end, and it doesn't dissipate at all.
Yeah, for me, that acidity and wood or tannin and wood hits initially when it goes on. Then I'm not saying it goes away, but it is overwhelmed by some richness and brown sugar and a few things like that.
Mhm.
But then it comes back for me 3/4 of the way, and then the finish is sort of astringent and hot and oaky,
Harsh.
harsh, yeah, tanniny.
Like, it has some good bourbon flavors that just kind of get washed away.
I like that richness that you're talking about. I know what you mean there. It is has some nice flavors, but yeah, it's hard to get through that
It's
stuff.
overpowered.
Yeah.
It's like thinned out. It's like, because of the astringency, it's like someone put paint thinner in here. Not literally, but it's like the bourbon is thinned out and then is replaced by wood and proof.
Yeah.
It has, outside the acidity, it lasts on the tongue, but it's mostly the wood that's just kind of staying there and it's really bright.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean that's what again, when I just took another sip, that middle palate of the brown sugar and stuff, I got a little cherry that time, but that's fleeting because all of a sudden then like I have a wood stave in my mouth.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not just the wood, but it's acidic or tanniny. I'm not sure what I'm even trying to say, but it's like not pleasant from here all the way down. And it's not Kentucky hug, like, I'm not scared of that. It just overpowers everything, all the nice flavors.
Yeah, my mouth is like coated.
Yeah.
It feels like
Huh.
interesting.
And going back to the nose after drinking a little bit, it doesn't really help. It's just
Yeah. It's a really subdued nose,
Yeah.
other than some proof.
I still sort of get that musty wood
Yeah.
on the nose.
There's some nice like corny
Yeah.
barley notes,
Corn, yeah.
but overall, here's a hot take. I mean, for $150, folks, for my palate, and if you've been watching the show, you might be familiar with types of stuff we like. This is a no-go for me. Definitely not.
I'm going to double down on your hot take.
Yeah.
This is so far away from what it should be.
$150,
Unbelievable.
no way, no how.
I would not pay $30 for this. I don't want this. We've tried this 3 times.
Yeah.
And it has been the same experience every time.
Because everybody online will tell you, if you go look, it's just like, yeah, this is great. Oh, it's so fantastic. It's not.
That's going to be
again-
our tagline on our thumbnail.
Yeah.
Everyone else is wrong.
Yeah. And Rick's going to try to clarify and give some context. No, it doesn't matter if this is
It's-
one bottle to a billion or if it's a single barrel or if this isn't, okay? This bottle is just not worth $150.
This was a waste of money.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I would rather have Old Tub for $25.
Oh, sure.
No,
Yeah.
I'm being 100% serious. I'm not going to pour this down the sink, but
Actually, I have a clogged sink. You want to pour it down there?
Yeah,
well,
well,
it might work.
the acidity will burn it away.
That could be cheaper than
Some
plumber.
solvent.
Cheaper than plumber,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we have meant to do this, and we did not care for it, and we're just hoping. And sometimes the bottle opens and oxidizes, and it just mellows and stuff. That has not been our experience. We're just being real with our palates. We'll hear what Alex has to say, but it is not mellowed, and it might be we got one of the barrels was bad of the 19-barrel dump or something, because this is not very good at all. It certainly is not $150 good. It's not $50 good.
Yeah, I think this would be interesting because I haven't had this before. You guys say you've had it a few times. If I didn't know the price, I would wonder how different my reaction would be, because I agree with everything we're saying about the harshness, and that it, especially on the smell. But I don't mind it. Like, I can totally drink this, but yeah, for the price, no way.
Well, and here on Alcohol Content, we're all about that value.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
We know it. And at the end of the day, the price is a huge factor, and it is just the price is a slap in the face on this. It's kind of ridiculous. There's go grab anything else from Barton.
Well, I was going to say
$17.92.
We've got a 12-year $17.92. Why don't you grab that? You want to just do a quick comparison?
Let's do it.
So here we go. Which this price is $17.92.
It's so convenient that it was right there.
Man,
That's crazy.
Things just happen on this podcast.
That was wild.
Magic every day here, folks.
Yeah, that's movie magic.
Well, I don't know about the magic, but
But it is a movie.
I feel magical.
All right, Harry Potter.
Yeah. There's nothing redeeming for me for this 16-year. Like, it's just not gonna do it. It's so imbalanced. Man.
and you guys are ready.
Ooh, interesting. And right away,
So do you think it's from the same?
it is actually. You can kind of get that on the nose. It's a little astringent, similarly, but it's more floral. And actually, right away, it is much more smooth and enjoyable on the nose.
So if
You're right. Floral, more more
they're-
sweet.
if they're correct, again, the reason we're doing this is the Calumet 16 is sourced distillate, and so they think it's sourced from Barton 1792. So
Yeah.
so
Them.
we are pulling out
man.
the 1792, Barton 1792, age 12 years. The proof on this, so there is a proof difference. This is 96.6 proof going against 106 proof. But do we think that it's potentially the same distillate, just 12 years versus 16 years?
I could see how it's the same distillate. There's definitely some through lines,
Yeah.
like the cherry for sure.
Mhm.
But two things: the proof does favors in the 1792 bottle, whereas it does no favors in the Calumet. And the wood is there, but it's like marrying the other parts of the profile, rather than just taking it over. This is enjoyable. I like this.
Still strong on the wood for me, for sure. This is something which we've done before. We've done actually a battle between 12 years. Rick and I did. Go watch that episode. It'll be up here in the top. But
It was missing me, so
it was definitely one of our best
It's
episodes.
not,
probably one of
not
the worst,
pre-12
actually.
versus. yeah.
But that comparing two things that had a lot of wood, for me, the wood piles up on these 12 years, and I like having one glass. And this is having the same effect. It's a lot of wood, but it's still enjoyable. It's not super astringent, and it has a nice sweetness to back it up.
Alex, what are you thinking on this? Have you had a chance to taste it?
Yeah. Definitely much bigger, and maybe I'm only perceiving more bigger because of the less burn and harsh comparatively from before. But yeah, big fruit and big wood for sure.
How's the mouthfeel? You talked about the mouthfeel a lot on the other one.
It's still, and I didn't. It's still definitely mouth. I think of it as drying versus wetting, right? And so definitely coats still this does. And that's not just like, I don't mean that as a negative thing, but
Right.
it is still doing that. It's just a thing to note.
Yeah, very drying on the nose from the wood. And
Oh, sure.
on the nose, on the tongue,
Well,
on both of them.
For me,
The nose and tongue are the same organ. I'm been told.
well, for me, the
Dr.
1792,
Austin.
the
Science
1792
corner.
has a lot of the same notes that the Calumet 16, but the wood, and there is definite wood. It's 12 years, but 2/3 of the way through the palate, the wood falls off, and then those other notes, those other nice notes shine through. Whereas on the Calumet 16, that wood just continued to hammer you, and it covered up the nice
Yeah.
notes. But I mean, this tastes similar.
Yeah, for sure. It's in the same line, but again, folks, $150. I mean, we've been doing some nice bottles lately that are above $100.
We've gotten
They've
a
all
little
been-
big for our britches.
Yeah, they've all been fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, going up to $150. There's a big, some big shoes to fill. This does not. No way, no how. So
Agreed.
If you like aged bourbon, I would we all suggest
yeah,
if you want something with age on it.
And a third of the price.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
All right.
what's this $50 to $60 for the 1792,
Yeah,
12
something
years
like
or
that.
whatever? Yeah.
Where that cherry really almost reaches like chocolate in the finish. It's really
Mhm.
good once it gets to sit there for a minute.
All right,
Well,
folks.
there we go.
There you have it.
Everyone's wrong. Don't listen to them. Listen
Yeah.
to us.
Make sure you like the episode because you liked it. It was super fun, and we got Alex Boy over here. And also subscribe because you want to see more content. Because guess what? We got some things coming up. All right, we we just destroyed this Calumet. What else is in our sights? Well, we're looking at some Basil Hayden. Can Basil Hayden actually go up against some heavy hitters in was it a cheaper price range? Which is exactly
Or roughly the same.
Yeah,
price
right,
range.
so-
Is it worth it?
is Basil Hayden's worth it? We're gonna do a whole lineup. It's gonna be a bit of a longer episode, so stay tuned. But outside of that,
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Cheers.
dibbly dabbly do.
Stay magical.